Today, instead of focusing on a specific technique, we're going to focus on a drill to build movement and mobility. This isn't a drill that we do all the time, and it requires both people to understand exactly what their role is. But if you can do this, it builds a sense of freedom and movement in the scramble. It doesn't always build good habits in terms of defense, but it does build good habits in terms of movement. So you need to temper it with training where you understand what's good exposure, what's bad exposure. A lot of people, though, they understand the technical elements of defense, but in terms of implementation and then body positioning and movement, they struggle because there are not a lot of good ways to do that where it's not highly consequential. Most of the time, if you do a shoulder roll and you mess it up, your partner takes your back, they get a choke in, you never want that to happen again, so you never do it, or you're very, very conservative. This is a very liberal way of practicing movement. It can be as high or as low intensity as you like. We tend to do it for shorter rounds, shorter periods of time. But in essence, what you're trying to do is one person begins, in this case, we'll begin on the bottom of the turtle position, okay? I'm gonna start on the top. My work here is really just to keep chest pressure on him, almost as if I were surfing. So if you think about, here's a kind of an analogy for you, that surfing, regular training when you're doing positional training or live training, it's a lot like swimming, where waves are coming. Sometimes you go over, sometimes you go under, and sometimes you cut right through. This is much more like surfing or floating. So there isn't a lot of direct drive. We keep pressure on our partner here. I'm going to be moving with him just to illustrate at the beginning, and then we'll do a couple of rounds so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to be keeping pressure on him, and I'm not trying to get any specific grips to pin. Right? The purpose of this is not for me to pin him and hold him and lock him in place. So even if my arms end up in a place where it's like kind of a quasi front headlock like this, I'm not trying to cinch it in and then use this to set up a submission. Okay, that's not this sort of training. I will kind of have my hands loose enough so maybe if he wanted to duck his head out, he would be able to, and then I would go back to an alternate grip here. The key is staying heavy with pressure, chest pressure on your partner, avoiding their legs, and not trying to lock up any specific grips. Okay, so we'll do just kind of a quick demo, nice and slow so I can narrate a little bit. But we'll start here, my knees will be off the floor, and then he's gonna go, he's gonna replace his guard. All right, so maybe he'll roll recover. I'm gonna keep pressure here, and I'm leaning in, so my weight is staying on him, almost like in a sprawl. All right, as he goes to recover here, I'll drop him down to the cross side, slow it down. And I'm going to just kind of track him here. So if he ends up in the bottom of cross side, I'm not trying to pin with the arms. I'm really focusing on sprawling out so he feels maximum weight, but it's much more like dead weight. So if he wanted to turn away from me, go ahead, he could. Go back. If he wanted to turn into me, he could do that too. And then I would change directions and kind of try to stay behind his arms and keep my body in a place where I can continue to apply pressure forward on him. So again, you can do this at whatever rate of speed you want. One thing is that the faster it gets, and you'll see when I do this with shoulder rolls and stuff, that it's easier for accidents to happen like elbows or knees because we're moving and we're kind of sliding together instead of having a stop and start, position to position, pin to pin transition, okay? So once again, I'm going to emphasize, again, we'll do it, but this is very different than kind of a control-based practice where we're going from pin to pin or submission to submission or attack to attack. It's much more about drilling body mechanics such as the shoulder roll, the side sit-up, the hipping out, the shrimp, inverting, than it is about any specific position. Okay, so I'll start down. He's going to start up on top. And we'll start at a moderate pace and then we'll switch. Okay, go ahead. So that would be a stop, caught the leg, recover the guard, okay? When he's down, go ahead. It'll be the same. We either stop at the end of the time, We stop when we're entangled in each other's legs, we can't roll anymore, or those are usually the two stopping points. Okay, go ahead. So it's a good workout for both people. You can be a little bit freer in your movement from the top position. And so because of that, you may find that you're moving differently. You may find that you're able to be a little looser, and you may find yourself in positions that you're not usually in. So that there was a moment where we were here and there was a single leg. So if we were working live training, underneath, I might be looking for the single leg. But in a drill like this, I'm more interested in having him keep pressure so that I have to be sitting up and moving, okay? I have to be turning and rolling. And again, to do this, you have to reprogram just a bit, because so much of what we do is geared towards specifically the submission, or the pin, or securing dominant position. But a lot of times, especially no gi, in training, things get slippery. And so we've already been doing this for about 30 minutes. And it's slippery, it's hard, you know. Not only that, but if you're on the bottom, a lot of times you can get away with certain things if your body mechanics are correct. Like I would, you know, an example would be, if he passed here, conventionally, I would probably want to be facing him. You know, but there are times where, because there's some, there's less friction, I can invert, you know, shoulder roll. If he's pressuring forward here, you know, conventionally I would want to turn back into him, but here we have this elbow post where we can start to come up. Normally I would be looking for a double leg, but here there's some pressure, so I'm going to work to duck out, focus on putting my back on the floor, okay? So these are just a few manifestations. The key for this, as you're beginning to implement, not going too hard, because there's a risk of elbows and knees. Number two, the guy on the top or girl on the top, you have to keep pressure, not crushing pressure, but floating pressure. And then you're kind of ignoring submissions for now. I know that's a little bit, you know, unorthodox, but this is a specific sort of drilling. And especially if you're like white or blue belt and you're looking to become a little bit more fluid in your transitions and movements, this translates directly into live training. You can drill it, you can practice it, you can do it for a minute or 2 minutes and really benefit from it overall with your training, okay? So give it a try, let us know what you think, and we'll see you soon.